Hello everyone, this is part 93 of our playlist Full Stack Python. Okay, so in this training course we are learning. Okay, so in this training course we are learning what programming in depth. Okay, and we are learning what theory in depth as well as programming in depth. Why I am saying we are learning theory in depth? Because we are discussing each and every topic. Okay, and we are learning each program in detail. We are understanding the logic of each program, technique of each program, so that we can we can solve the logical, we can write the logics of the book. That's why we are learning programming in depth, right? So this is a training course. It is not like 3 hours course. It is not like 1 hour course. It is a training course. This is a journey, right? So this is a journey. What journey it is? Full stack Python. This is a journey of full stack Python. Here you will learn front end, back end, right? Basic Python, everything you will learn here. Okay, so this is a complete training course, right? I hope you are getting the idea now. Okay, so today we will learn about database. Okay, so see how to read data from database, how we can read data from the database. In previous video we learn about how we can update the data, how we can dynamically insert the data into the table. But in this video we will learn how we can fetch the data from the table. Okay, reading data from database table is done by sending select query or command to database. Okay, we need to send which query? Select query, or we can say command to the database. Select command is used to read data from database table. This command read data and store data inside cursor object. This command is used to read data from database table, and this command read and store data inside the cursor object, right? To fetch data from cursor object, cursor provides the following methods. What are the methods? Fetch one method, fetch many method we have, fetch all method we have, right? If we talk about, okay, so if we talk about fetch one method, okay, right? So if we talk about fetch one method, so what is fetch one? This method read each time one row from cursor object. Okay, so fetch one method read one row, okay, from the cursor object, because in database we store data in the form of row and column. Row and column means table format. We follow the tabular format in order to store data into database, right? And then we have fetch many method. Fetch many fetch many an argument n here. This method read n rows. Okay, this method read n rows from cursor object, right? After that we have fetch all method. This method read all rows from cursor object. Fetch all method read all rows from the cursor object. Now see this. Okay, example, read data from employee table. How we can read data from the employee table? So first we need to import the library. Import cx oracle library in order to communicate with Oracle database. And this library is what? This library is external library, means this library doesn't come with Python software. Using pip command we can install this library, right, in order to communicate with database. Okay, so what we are doing, we are creating connection Oracle connection object. Cn is what? Connection object. So we will write the library name, then we will write the method, connection method. Here we will pass the system, which is the username. Manager is what? Password. And xc means database name. When we are creating cursor object, with the help of cursor object we can call the execute method, and inside the execute method we will pass the command select star from employee. Okay, row 1. Okay, what method we are using? Fetch 1. We are using fetch 1. This fetch 1 method returns what? One row. Okay, then we will print the row. After that, what we are doing, we are again fetching another row, which is row 2, right? And we are printing row 2. Okay, again I am fetching, and again we can write. Okay, if you want to fetch many rows, then again and again you can repeat this step. Okay, so for example, let me write the code. I also have a table. Okay, SQLs. Let me start SQL server. Okay, okay, so username is what? System, and password is manager. Default password is manager, right? For example, if I say describe EMP, so this is my EMP table. If I say select star from SQL, sorry, EMP. So it is returning what? Data of employee table, right? But we know how we can fetch this using SQL command. But we are learning how we can fetch using Python program. So we will write the Python program in order to execute this query, SQL query. So first I will open IDLE, right? Okay. It is taking little time. Okay. So this is what? This is the interactive mode, and this three greater than symbol is what? Chevron prompt, right? So I will take new module or new file. Both are the same thing, right? Now I will save this file, right? Okay, so this is a 93 lecture. I will save here, right? So what's the 93? I'm giving the program name, right? So here we will write the program, like we will write the program to fetch the data of the table. Okay, okay. So read data from EMP table. EMP table means employee table. Now I will import a library CX Oracle in order to communicate with Oracle database, right? Then I will create the connection object. So in order to create the connection object, I will write here connect. Okay, but this connect method I can call with the help of CX Oracle library, right? CS Oracle library. So I will create the object CN equals to. So CN is what? Object of connection object, right? And here I will mention the username, which is system, and also I will mention password. So default password is basically manager, but I'm using different password here, AB123, right? And I will write here database name. XE means database name, right? Now what I will do, I will create the cursor object. So here I will write cursor. Okay, cursor, but this cursor method we can call using connection object method. Okay, so I will write C. C is what? Cursor object, correct? And now I will write execute method, execute method, execute, right? And here, here I will write what? Here I will write the SQL command. What is the SQL command? Select star from EMP, select star from EMP, and this execute method will call using cursor object C, right? And now I will fetch the row. I will fetch the row. So how can I fetch the row? I will write fetch and one. Fetch one means we can fetch one row, and this fetch one method we can call using C cursor object, right? Cursor object, with the help of cursor object we can call fetch one method, and I will write here row one because this fetch one means it fetch one row. All right, I will print that row one, right? Now I'll execute the code and check whether it's working properly or not. Okay, so it is working. So it is fetching one row in the form of tuple, right? It is fetching the row in the form of tuple. Okay, if I write again, like row 2 equals to C1, C dot means C what? Cursor object, fetch 1, C dot fetch 1. Okay, now I will print what? Row 2, right? If I run this code again, so it will fetch another row, right? So likewise you can fetch. Okay, suppose you don't want to write this code, write this method fetch one again and again. So what you can do, instead of writing this again and again, instead of writing this again and again, you can use while loop. You can write here while true, right? And you can write here fetch one. Okay, but fetch one, see cursor object here call the fetch one, right? And I will store this inside what? Row. Inside row I will store the data, right? Okay, now I will check. Okay, if no row fetched, if no row fetched means it will return what? False, or we can say none. It will return none. It will return what? It will return none. So if row equals to none, if row equals to none means break, right? Break it. Then I will write here. What I will write here? We will unpack the row. If we suppose if row is not equals to none, if row is not equals to none, then what will happen? We will unpack the row. Unpack the row means we will, because row contain columns na, so we will write the column name here. What's the column name? Enum. enum. What is the second column name? Ename. What is the third column name? Salary. Right? So that's how we are unpacking the employee data. Okay, employee data, or we can say table data or row data we are unpacking. Right? I'm writing here what? Unpacking. Right? And then we will print employee detail. Print what? Enum. Print what? Ename. Print what? Salary. Right? If I run this code, so it will fetch all the rows. It will fetch all the rows. Okay, at once. Right? So it is fetching all the data, whatever data inside the table. See in my table, data is same. If I write here select star from employee, so same data we have here also. So we are getting, right? Okay. Okay, so this is a program we already discussed. Okay. Now see this. Okay. So here, this is a program, read data from employee table. Okay. So what we are doing here, we are using fetchmany method. Fetchmany. We are using fetchmany method in order to fetch rows, and in the n, like this 2 is what? N values. If you're writing here 2, so it will fetch 2 values. If you're writing here 3, so it will fetch 3 values. It depends on the, it totally depends on the what? Depend on the n value, right? Okay, let me open it. All right. So what we can do, just remove the while loop. Okay. So what we will do, we will write here fetch many. So the moment you are writing fetch many, you will pass the argument, right? You will write the argument as well, like how many rows you want to fetch, n value will give, suppose 2. I want to fetch 2 rows. So I will write here rows equals to, and c dot fetch many with c dot, right? And what I will do, I will write here print rows. Okay, so it will print my rows, right? If I run this code, okay, wait. So it is fetching my 2 rows, as you can see, right? It is fetching 2 rows in the form of tuple, right? And we can unpack the tuple, right? We can also unpack the tuple. And we have fetch all method as well. Okay, we also have fetch all method. Okay, so see this. All right, see this code. Read data from employee table. So same here, we will import one library cx oracle in order to communicate with Oracle database, right? Same, we are creating connection. Okay, connection with Oracle database we are creating. Then we are creating cursor. Then we are using execute method. And what is the SQL query? Select star from employee. And which method we are using? Here we are using fetch all method. Fetch all method we are using c dot fetch all. So it will give the rows. If I will print, so it will print all the rows, right? So suppose instead of writing this, what I can write, fetch all. Then no need to pass any argument, right? If I run this code, so what will happen? It will fetch all the rows. It will fetch all the rows, right? Okay, so we have here total variable, total equals to 0. For rows in row, row is what? Variable name. And rows is what? Like whatever fetch all method will return. So what we are doing, unpacking, and in salary we are updating. We are updating total plus total equals to total plus salary, right? Like this, you can increment the values. Okay. Now understand this execute many. What's the mean of execute many? Okay, cursor dot execute many. So here we will write the operation SQL of params, right? This method prepared a database operation, query or command, and executed against all parameters, sequences, or mapping found in the sequence, okay, of param. For example, see this. For example, write a program to insert 3 employees data, right? So same story, we will import one library, CX Oracle. Then we have data in the form of tuple, list of tuples. Okay, so inside the list, we have 3 different tuple, and each tuple contains 3 columns data, means employee number, employee name, employee salary. Okay, so we have 3 rows data inside this tuple, inside this list. Okay, then we are creating connection object system manager like this. We are creating connection object. With the help of connection object, we are calling what cursor object, right? Okay, see this, c dot execute many, execute many. So we are using what method? Execute many method. So here we are writing insert into employee values. Okay, so first value, second value, and third column value, and we are writing here data, which is what pegged. Okay, so this respective value will go inside each column, right? And then after that we will commit it, right? Now see another example. Write a program to update 3 employees. Okay, same story, cursor object. Okay, we are creating what each 3 tuples, and inside each tuple we have 2 things. One is employee number, and then salary, employee number, and update salary in order to update, right? And now we are writing execute many update command. We are writing update employee set salary equals to salary plus 2. Okay, because the second column we have where employee number equals to column 1, because employee number in which column? First column, and data. Okay, after that we are commit the operations. Okay, now see this execute script, SQL script. Create a new cursor object and call execute script on it with given SQL script. Return the new cursor object. SQL script is a collection of SQL commands. Okay, s1.sql create table temp call 1 varchar 20, call 2 varchar 220, right? And then insert into temp values. Okay, insert into temp values, and this is we have value. So what we are doing, we are separately we are creating SQL script in another file. What is the file name? What is the file name? s1.sql. This is the file name. Okay, so what is the file name? s1.sql, and in this file we will write all the SQL commands. Okay, so what we are doing, we are creating the table which contain 2 columns, and we are inserting respective data inside the columns, right? And now see this example of execute script. How we can execute this script? So we created already a s1 script. We can say this is a batch file for SQL. So we are creating batch file, or we can say creating SQL file, SQL script in order to execute it separately. So we will import this CX Oracle library. Then we will create the connection object and cursor object. Okay, now we will use this open method. Here we will write the file name s1.sql, and we will open it in read mode. Then what we will do, we will read this file content f.read. Then we will execute script. We have a method. Okay, if we are creating cursor object, with the help of cursor object we can call the execute script method. So it will call what? It will execute all the scripts inside what? Inside the s1.sql file, right? And then we will commit the operation, right? And close the connection. Okay, so Oracle does not implement execute script method. Okay, Oracle does not implement execute script method. So what we will do, in order to implement this execute script method, we will install one thing. Okay, Python and MySQL database communication. Okay, so we will see here onwards Python and MySQL communication, right? How Python program can communicate with MySQL database. Previously, what we have seen, Oracle database. Here we will see MySQL database. So in order to communicate with Oracle database, for communicating with MySQL database, first we need to install MySQL database software and then install MySQL connector Python library. Okay, so how we can install MySQL database software? Download MySQL database from the following website. Okay, so this is our website. We can download our MySQL from this website. I will attach the link. Don't worry. Right? You can find this attachment in the description of this video. Right? So don't worry about it. If you face any difficulty, you can comment also. So we have two things. We have two things. One is Windows MSI installer, which is 2.1 MB. So it will install from website directly. And this is what is this is file is what 285. So what we will do, we will install this file. Okay, now things just download. Okay, so here I will downloading the installer, right? Okay, so now I can install this. Okay, I will run this and it will automatically install MySQL, right? So just installing, right? So okay, so you can download server only, client only, and full install all include MySQL product and features. Okay, so we can choose anyone, right? And here also steps are mentioned, right? Right. So what we will install? We will install this only server. You can download. It's your wish. Okay, execute. It will take a little time. Right. So the next execute. Next. Okay. And next. Next. And here we can mention MySQL root password. Okay, password we can give. Okay, so I'm giving the password SQL123. SQL123. You can give another password. And next, you can install this and wait for the configurations. Now finish. Next, finish. Right. So now we can install MySQL connector library. Previously we installed what CX Oracle library. Okay. So in order to communicate with Oracle database, now in order to communicate with MySQL database, we will install what MySQL connector. It is like a drivers. It is like what drivers. So we will install this. Okay. So let me open command line. CMD, simply we will open CMD, right? In the CMD, we will write the command. Okay, what we need to install? Python, sorry, SQL connector. SQL connector we need to install. So we can write the pip command. Okay, so see, it is visible. So we will write here pip install MySQL connector dash Python. Okay, make sure you are typing correct spelling. Sometimes what happens because of the spelling mistake, it gives error. So it will install the library. Okay, so it is installed successfully, right? So in order to check whether it imports successfully or not, So we will open IDE ideally. Okay. So here only we will type what? Import MySQL. Import MySQL. So it is not giving error, means it is installed successfully. And this library doesn't come with Python software. That's why we need to install this using pip command, right? Hope you are getting. Okay. So when you open this MySQL, okay, so can you see this MySQL client command line client? So we will open this. Okay, so here I will enter the password. Okay. Okay, so I entered password correctly, so that's why it's coming like this. So here I will write command use database one. Okay, in SQL first we need to create the database. Inside the database we will create the tables or view. Okay, like okay, unknown database one. Okay, so it is giving error unknown database one. So in order to use the database one, first what we need, we will create the database or not, right? So we will create the database first. Okay, so how we can create? We can simply write here create. Okay, create database. Create database. What is the database name? Database one, right? Semicolon. Okay, query. Okay, one row affected, right? So if I say use database one, so it will not give error. Okay, database changed, right? So it will use it. Now it is using which database? Database one, right? After that, I can say show tables. Show tables semicolon. So empty set. So what it is saying? Empty set. So we can create a table as well. So how we can create table in SQL? We will write here create table student marks roll number. Okay, so roll number in Oracle we write in number. Okay, but here we will write what? Integer. Here we will write integer, right? So just the name is changing, and in Python we simply write int, but here we are writing in MySQL integer. Then what we will write? We will write name. Okay, in Oracle we write varchar 2, but here we will write simply name is what? Varchar, only varchar, and here we can write the range of the name, right? After that we have subject 1 marks. After that we have subject 1 marks, and marks can be float decimal, so that's why I'm taking float data type. And 5 is total digits, and 2 out of them can be the decimal, right? And after that I'm taking another subject data, subject number, subject 2 float. Okay, total range is 5, 2 out of them decimal, right? Semicolon. So okay, 0 rows affected, 2 warnings. Okay, so warning, we don't need to worry about warnings, right? Now if I say show tables, so will it show or not? Will it show or not? It will show the tables. Okay, so we have a student table, and which database created this student table? Database one, right? Yes or no? Right? So I can say like describe here, instead of writing describe completely, we write here DECS. This is the short form of describe. So what do you want to describe? Student underscore marks. You want to describe student underscore marks. So here is our table data. Here we have roll number column, name column we have, subject column we have, and subject to column we have, and this one is data types, and this is null. Okay, by default it is null, means no values, no key is there, not any primary key foreign key is there, and default is null. Okay, like this is the columns specifications you can see. Okay. Okay, so in the next video we will discuss more about the SQL database. Okay, in the next video we will discuss more about the database. All right, so thank you everyone for giving your valuable time. Okay, so stay consistent here everyone. Thank you first of all for giving your valuable time, and stay consistent and always be happy, right? Always be happy and write the code. We write the code and practice the code. It is not just like a one video. It is not like a just single video. It is what? It is a training course. It is a journey, right? It is what? It is a journey. So we will discuss more about the SQL. We already discussed about the Oracle. In the next video onwards, we will discuss more about the SQL database, right? So stay tuned, everyone. And after this Python module, we will start backend module, which is Django, right? And Django is really important in order to understanding or mastering the backend. Okay, if you're learning Python, Python means nothing. With Python, you must have some backend in order to develop your applications, right? So thank you, everyone. We will see in the next lecture more about this. Bye, everyone.